There was a rioter who stormed the Capitol while he was out on bail on an attempted first-degree murder charge. This person has just been arrested by the FBI this month, or excuse me, this week, I should say, on Tuesday, which is more than 10 months after he was first identified. Check out his photo here. This individual, Matthew Jason Bedingfield of North Carolina, is facing felony charges of assaulting officers, impeding officers during a civil disorder, and carrying a deadly or dangerous weapon on restricted Capitol grounds, as well as several misdemeanors. Again, this person had been identified months ago. They were already out on bail while they were storming the Capitol, and yet only this week, this past Tuesday, did the FBI actually pick them up? Wow, talk about timing. But let's talk a little bit about more of this individual. So this Bedingfield gentleman was first publicly identified in a Huffington Post story in March after online sleuths investigating the January 6th attack used facial recognition to find his mugshot and then confirmed his identification with the help of his father's Facebook page. Bedingfield traveled to Washington on January 6th with his father, a fellow Donald Trump supporter, who also believed the former president's lies about a stolen election. The two had attended a November 2020 rally in Washington in support of Trump's efforts to overturn his election loss. Images that Bedingfield's father posted of that rally showed his son wearing identical Nike sneakers and carrying the same pole attached to an American flag as he did on 1/6. Video compiled with the help of online investigators shows Bedingfield at the front of the mob outside of the Capitol, jabbing at the police line with his American flag, throwing a metal object at the police, and appearing to give a Nazi salute. Wow. This really tells us essentially a lot about this person. But by the time Bedingfield emerged from the Capitol, his father, Jason Bedingfield, like thousands of others, was on the restricted exterior grounds of the US Capitol, but he is not facing charges as of Tuesday. The elder Bedingfield, who posted on Facebook on January 6th about taking the country back, can be seen hopping over a fence, restricting access to the Capitol grounds while carrying a pro-Trump flag. Wow, so committing crimes on the Capitol, and while engaging in this Jason Bedingfield person already out on bail for another serious crime. Check this out per NBC News. So when he stormed the Capitol, Bedingfield was on bail on a first-degree attempted murder charge in connection with the December 2019 shooting of a 17-year-old in a Walmart parking lot when Bedingfield was 19. He was initially held on $1 million bail, but somehow he secured a pretrial release when bail was all of a sudden lowered to 100 grand. After he stormed the Capitol on January 6th, Bedingfield pleaded guilty to a lesser charge in connection with the shooting, and he was on probation in the shooting case when he was arrested on Tuesday. Wow. Wow, wow. It definitely tells us that there were individuals who were storming the Capitol who weren't exactly, I guess, patriots, but more kind of like convicts. I don't know. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, when I heard the story, I can't help but make the comparison. Because in Minneapolis, a man by the name of Winston Smith got rolled up on by this collaborative task force of local police officials and federal agents. And he was killed. He was killed in the top of a parking garage, just within a matter of seconds of them rolling up on him. And where were those federal agents? So I'm really curious, because that Winston Smith happened after the January 6th, Capitol insurrection. And so apparently these federal agents were just too busy going after random people with warrants instead of actually going after people like this guy. And I just can't help but make that connection where he seemingly had peaceful interactions with law enforcement apprehending him, and he, Winston Smith wasn't afforded the same privileges that this person was, who literally stormed the Capitol and, as part of an attempted coup. Let's be clear about what it is. They were attempting a coup and they failed, but it's just stark, I think, to see the difference.
Yeah, no, it is stark, and it's also very disappointing, the fact that these individuals continue to get opportunities in lives that we are seeing are not afforded to others, depending on their race, class, gender, complexion, who knows. But it just shows you also how dangerous individuals are out there and how much they continue to get a pass and how they're allowed to live among us and nothing is done. And it just, It is upsetting, but it's not shocking.